Meeting start. Stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. That's the last one. You all had a copy of them.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
So, second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Here you go, Scott. Do we have any mail? Everybody's quiet. Okay. Does the county attorney have anything to bring before us?
I do not.
Really?
I don't.
We can move for adjournment, think we?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a so. Okay. Any committee reports?
Nope.
Jail? Got a report?
These are commissioners.
Oh, you're.
Not a committee.
No, it's not. We're just getting to that.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'll be
Good evening.
brief. We had a relatively light agenda today. We did approve 144 for the maintenance department for 3 part-time employees and 3 part-time employees for 911 department for Kelly Van Meter. And we learned today that the contractors had began work on our community crossings paving projects yesterday. They've started on County Road 450 West at the Wayne County line, and they're going to work their way south. When they get done with 450, they'll move on to the Everton Road from County Road 50 East to Everton. So in that job, both those roads are in great need for the work they're going to get. Also, county surveyor was in today, and the commissioners agreed and signed a letter of financial commitment for a grant opportunity, federal grant at a 10% contribution on our part for a county road sign inventory. And once you have your inventory done, there's also a 90-10 grant opportunity for sign replacement. So it's a pretty good deal, and we've signed on to it today. And I have a brief 1-paragraph printout here that explains what the purpose of the project is. And you might want to think, yeah, well, we got enough signs and this and that and the other, but it only takes one lawsuit to cost you more than what your sign replacement project is price.
What budget are you going to take it out of?
It would be highway funds.
Okay.
No county road signs, Dale?
Yes, it's all county road signs. Is what this is all about. So, have here a letter of commitment that would need to be approved and signed by you council members to go along with the one that the commissioners approved and signed today. And the local cost of this project would be $12,740. It would have to be come out of the highway department budget. And we're talking about next year sometime. So, on behalf of the commissioners, I'd like to ask you to take this into consideration. And if you will approve this, we can move this project forward. So I'll hand this. I've got 2 copies of this here, Jane. I assume one will be for you and one for probably the later. So.
Is this something you want tonight or next meeting?
I think tonight if you can.
Yeah, this is due by October the 11th. Is the deadline.
I suggest we do it tonight then.
Yeah, we would ask you to do it tonight if you would, but it has to be in by October the 11th. And our friend Dick, what's Dick's last name, Dale?
Robertson.
Dick Robertson. He brought that to us and made us aware of it. He works for RAQW, one of the engineering firms we do business with, and he's got his antenna up all the time for every opportunity you can imagine. So anyhow, that's all I have, and if you would consider that tonight, we would appreciate it.
Make a
So-
motion to accept Dale's ones and waste of tax dollars.
Second. Okay, we've had a motion made and seconded to accept this project. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you got your money.
Well, thank you very much. Just make sure that Jane gets
Send those down.
the signed copies of that,
Signed.
Just sign it.
and we'll start moving this on forward tomorrow.
Here, Scott, you gotta sign both of them, I guess.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dale.
I was supposed to sign it.
Dale, come back up here a minute. We got any more discussion?
Supposed to sign that?
Or this one, maybe mine.
Both copies?
Both copies.
Yeah.
Do we have any timetable on Bridge 75?
Within weeks.
Good question.
No, we don't.
Okay.
My timetable is, we closed that bridge on September the 19th. I wanted the road reopened the next day. Evidently, the surveyor is having trouble finding a contractor that has time to do the work. Normally, we'd use Mike Coons on a job like that, and he's been contacted, and he said he just didn't have time to do it. Today, we gave the surveyor a list of contractors that might be able to do it, and we've asked the surveyor to contact them. This bridge work comes under the surveyor's responsibility. So, our job is to stay out of his way and let him do his. So, I really do apologize for the inconvenience this is causing, but the approach to that bridge has washed out to the point where the inspectors failed it. So, and it's not worth the liability to leave it up without repair, So, all I can say right now is, as soon as we can get a contractor on the job.
Dale, I apologize, you may have said, where's that bridge, 75?
It's bridge number 75. It's about 3/4 of a mile north of the four-way intersection in Springersville on County Road 450 East. And it's a fairly busy road.
Right.
And the only detour for it is School Road that runs from Springersville Road up to 200 North, and that's a narrow road, and luckily it's a close detour, but it's not as good a road. So. But I'm hoping to get that open and going just as soon as possible, Scott.
Any other questions?
What's your update on the women's building? Get an update on the women's building?
The which
Prison.
Women's work.
Jail?
Oh, we had our, we had another progress meeting the week before last. We got another one coming up on October 15th. We're probably at the, what did he say, Dale, about 70-75% level being done. Most of the work right now is details having to do with electronics, door locks, and that sort of thing.
And we're a year late already?
Well, we're looking at probably sometime in November completion. And I'm there again, I'm just as disappointed and anxious as anybody else, but there's nothing that we can do to make it go any faster.
What's been the main holdup, Dale? I mean, getting supplies?
The supply chain evidently has been the biggest problem. That's one of the ripple effects of the COVID pandemic, when the world's economy pretty much came to a halt and then tried to do a quick restart. It just pulled all the slack out of the lines for everybody, and there's some businesses still haven't come back to normal over.
I wonder how these other construction projects stay fairly close to completion date. They do the same materials, and then we're not talking about exotic materials over here. So how is the other construction jobs that stay on time or fairly close to on time? And we're a year plus over.
Yeah, well,
That's inexcusable.
I share the same frustration as does our representative from DLZ. We're doing everything that we can, when we can, to help them move things along. But bear in mind too, when we let that project out for bids, we only had one bidder. The contractor that we have on that job was the only one we could get.
There's a reason for that.
So, but I think it's a safe bet we can have an open house over there before the end of the year. And that's not far away.
You're aware that the port's now on strike,
What
right?
year might be the question.
Oh, it'll be this year, Bob. Beg your pardon, Kay?
You know the pork workers are on strike now.
Who is on site?
She wants to know that the ports are all on strike on the East Coast,
Oh.
Texas, in case you didn't know.
Well, I don't know.
They're probably already here for shipment someplace, aren't they? I would think.
Well,
I mean, we got a few steel companies still running, don't we?
yeah. We'll know more on the 15th,
Yeah. Okay.
okay?
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you,
All
Dale.
right, thanks.
Okay, moving on. Transfers, additional reductions, additional appropriation to county general fund 1,000 probation and account 3 to 0062 contracted detention cost $30,000.
Hello. Well, sorry to be here again. A little out of our control. We've got currently 3 kids detained, 2 of which at DOC safekeeping because they've been so poorly behaved. The detention center kicked them out, and so we had to have the state take them in. We're currently by our calculations, about $7,000 in the red in that account for the county right now. We're doing everything we can to get them out safely and efficiently, but these are our top 1% kids. Firearms, possession, we have one child who has multiple counts of auto theft, another one who is ejected from first his residential treatment facility, which is psychiatric help, then ejected again from the detention center. And just finding safe and alternative ways to house them is a slow process.
Where do you want to take them to?
Yeah, I'm not even sure yet. We're gonna have to find some kind of resolution with the courts. The sad thing is these kids are burning bridges that could have been therapeutic solutions. And when all the therapeutic solutions run out, Mr. Wesling knows what happens next. We're left with only incarceration, DOC, and we don't want to do that to these kids because
It's not their only options.
Yeah.
That's his only options. His thoughts.
DOC's free.
You've got 2 of them, you said?
2 at DOC safekeeping. To get them in, we have
So are their
call-
homes.
Yeah, it's true, but I don't know how their home stopped them from having guns and stealing cars in the first place, but DOC safekeeping, we had to call every detention center in the state and get rejected before they would accept them. So Crystal and Darian called over 20 places in a single morning and got no's from all of them. Of course, when you tell them, hey, a kid's being kicked out of Delaware County Juvie because they're too violent and aggressive and combative and non-responsive, who would say, yes, bring them on over, we'd love to house them for you. So
That's sad.
it's just kind of the pickle we're in. But I'm hoping this might be the last year we have to play this game, because I was approached last month by Henry County's chief probation officer. They are moving forward with reopening their detention center, and they are going to offer contracts
That's good.
and possibly even transportation. They've hired a private company, from what I'm being told, to run this place that will handle everything, and then the county just kind of deals with, paying them and keeping, and then they do all the work. It's going to have emergency shelter care and detention, and possibly even offer what she called a la carte services, like maybe if you have a kid in there that you want to have a diagnostic evaluation done on, or some sort of therapy, something very specific to a certain kid. DOC's already inspected their facility, and it just needed a few very minor tweaks that they can have done pretty quickly. And I told her, if they can get us a number, I'd be more than happy to present it to the commissioners and you all, and strike some kind of a deal where we wouldn't have to deal with additionals. We get a certain number of beds per day that would be allocated for specifically our county. And if they're going to offer transportation, I don't know what the county's paying out on overtime for deputies to run these kids back and forth, but surely it would break even on that.
These other places don't offer that kind of service?
They used to, and I think just the liability, and then, you have to have somebody on call 24/7. We detain kids at 2 or 3 in the morning, and then someone has to come from Muncie, and they can't get anybody to do it. It used to always be older gentlemen who were retired corrections officers or deputy sheriffs, walking around money, I think is what one man told me years ago is why he did it, but it's gotten so, these kids are so aggressive and dangerous, it's not worth their time, and so they stopped offering the service. I know several kids that jumped out of it because they can't have locked cars the way these work. The kids, it's not a cop car, it's just a van, basically. They jump out of the van and run. Shackles on their feet.
How old
and
are
everything.
these kids?
They're all late teens.
Late teens?
Yeah. Generally, detention centers won't take anyone under the age of 12. Just, I'm sure their insurance, you don't want to put a kid into a building full of 17-year-olds and he's 9 years old,
And by then, don't tell them what they've been through.
Correct. And that's part of the problem is trauma on top of trauma. And Darian does her best to keep kids out. She really does. She looks for alternatives, ankle bracelets, but at a certain point, kids have an ankle bracelet on, they're still committing crimes. They're still getting guns. I took a gun out of a kid's room myself recently.
Well, you need a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we give them 30,000.
A second.
Okay, we had a motion made and seconded to allow the $30,000 to the fund probation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Okay.
Thank you all very much. Hopefully I don't have to see you again until next year.
Okay.
Thanks, Ryan.
Additional appropriation to County General Fund 1000 Circuit Court to account 30081 psychiatric evaluation $6,174.
There's nobody here for that one.
Okay.
You just get to present it for him.
Any comments on that one? County General Psychiatric Evaluations, okay. Do I have a motion to approve the $6,000 for?
That's something that's already being spent out, hasn't it, Jane?
Yes, I believe it does.
I think it's for
I think that's why
past
the invoices were attached to their
Yeah.
request.
I'll
that
make a
showed-
motion.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to accept that additional appropriation to county court. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, okay. Additional appropriation to county general fund 1,000 coroner to account 30401 for pathology and autopsy, $17,600.
Motion approved.
Hey, hang on just a second. Do we know why he said 17,600? I mean, we've averaged 42,000 for the previous 6 years. We're on pace this year to do 47. I think they've done like 39. I don't know that we necessarily, I mean,
Who came up with that number, Jane?
The coroner,
Eddie or?
yes.
I mean, I think he could probably get away with 10.
That's what he thinks he needs the rest of the year, Jane? It's nobody spent or something?
I don't know how he came up with that number. I think it was just because they originally asked for 50 and you didn't give him 50, so he made it 50.
No, just table it till, when next month or whatever.
And have them come in.
Yeah.
I would agree with that too.
I remove my motion then.
I don't care to pass something, but I don't know that
I would rather know
we need
what
to
it's
go
for.
17.6.
I'd rather know what it's for.
I agree. I'd rather know what's going on, more
Okay.
details.
Okay.
You can table it, Bob.
You want to give him $10,000 then?
No,
Table it.
table it.
Table it, okay. We'll table that at this time.
Who's gonna, somebody make a motion to table
Make
it?
a motion to table it.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Who did the second on it?
Hey,
Okay. Table this motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks,
Opposed?
Scott.
Okay.
Scott,
yeah,
thanks for catching that.
yeah.
I have a difficult time sometimes hearing from down here, okay? Okay, next account, additional appropriation animal shelter fund 4102 to account 30303, other services, $1,600. You know what that's for?
He's here.
He's here.
Okay.
That's for getting our internet down to the new building. We're going, Mike can tell you a little bit more about it because he's more brainy about this part.
We're running a wireless bridge between the two buildings, so we have one internet bill and one network between the existing building and the new building. That's the labor part of the quote, and then the next one, the 2,840, is the equipment part of the quote. So that's what
And
those two are.
they're both really coming from the donation fund,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we pass both additional appropriation,
2840 also?
yeah,
Second.
Okay. Made and seconded that we pass both appropriations for 30303 and 20290.
Sorry, who
All those,
seconded?
pardon me?
I'm sorry, who seconded? I didn't.
Mike, I think, didn't you, Mike? You
no,
seconded?
it's Jen.
Thank
Jim?
you.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, if you guys want to ask any questions about the building, Kay was up there, so she can answer some of them for you. But you're still welcome to come up and look.
It looks really nice.
You know, it's a building to be proud of, I think.
You have any camels? I'd like to have a pet camel.
Well, if you want to come up there, we'll put a hump on the back and we can start petting you then. Okay.
I think I'm getting that anyway. I'll need any help.
You just want to answer the 2,840 while you're there, 'cause that's next.
We just did that. We
That's
did it
what-
together.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's the
Wake up,
hardware for
Michael.
the.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, that's the hardware for it.
And you have some really good help down there too.
Yes, I got some good volunteers. And if you ever want your pet washed, come on up. We got 2 wash stations and only do a donation, you know.
Right.
So you're welcome to do it on our work hours.
And Denise does training.
Yes, got a training, we got a trainer up there in a training room. And if you want to take your pets home and teach you how to handle them, she will help you out. So just think about that if you want to, and come on up. And
That's a great addition.
yes, we're proud of it. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, next order of business, transfer to Cumulative Capital Development Fund 1138 from account 4048 IT office equipment to account 20271 IT other supplies, $1,000.
Yep, that is for basically cables and batteries and just the miscellaneous ephemera that goes to the various equipment, like the setting up of the screens in here, all the different cables that I had to get to connect the screens to the new computer in here. You know, the DLGF requires those to be at their own thing instead of in computers like it used to be able to do. So
And that's just transfer of funds. Correct?
just a transfer fund.
I'll make a motion, Bob.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to accept that. Any more comments?
Mike, I have a question for you, part of the question here.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever looked at the enterprise agreement for Microsoft software and getting the leases on all the computers?
Yes, I have. We don't have enough computers to really get a discount because by the time we really paid for it, it never pays off between the lease payments.
Comparison on that, because I work with architectural firms that have 100 computers, 200 computers, and they seem to get a discount.
Yeah, I can talk to Dell and talk to him about it, but last time I talked to him about it, it didn't work out. And it has an advantage for us.
Which ones did you talk to?
I talked to Dell and talked to HP and I talked to 3 other vendors,
Was that including the city computers or just computers?
just county.
Dale, that okay?
Yeah, this subject came up during budget hearings,
Right.
and since then, I've talked to Michael about this, and he has looked at leasing versus buying versus this versus that on just about everything. And he's satisfied that we can't do any better than we have been.
Ben Houston looked at it as well, and we didn't come out any better then either, with our buying power. Now, that's not to say it won't change.
I would just be curious to see what those numbers are. It's not that I don't believe you. It's not that I just don't understand how these other firms and businesses do the same thing, and that's the reason why they do cost saving.
Well,
One, they don't own the equipment. They give it back every 2 or 3 years, and they.
well, that's also one other big difference labor-wise is every 2 or 3 years you're changing out all the equipment. So you're going to have to get a much bigger IT
You
department.
do it phased.
I know, but you're still talking a really big phase of.
Understand?
So you're talking a lot more labor and a lot more changing of data.
I think as a council, being the fiscal body of the county, I'd like to see those numbers.
Yeah. But with the copiers, I looked at it, copiers, it costs, over a 5-year lease, you're spending $1,300 to $1,700 more to lease the equipment than you are to buy it. So,
Again, I'd like to see those numbers.
okay.
Just print them. Just do anything homework, just print them, please.
We have a motion on the floor and seconded to approve it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay. Transfer and Cumulative Building Jail Fund 1142 from account 30452 repairs to jail to account 20285 repair and maintenance, $3,000. Now, do we know what those are?
It's a transfer, so we don't have to pay somebody outside to do the job, so Josh can buy the parts and do jobs himself.
Okay.
So we're just moving it from a service line to a supply line.
Okay. Any other comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the $3,000 transfer.
Second.
Okay. It's been approved and seconded to approve it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. Transfer to statewide 911 city share fund 4912 from account 30100 to telephone to account 40400 equipment, $10,130 transfer.
Okay.
Any questions?
It's me. I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Oh,
I'm here. Here's your
okay.
copy.
She's always here.
Here's your copy. I try to be.
That's good.
It's part of my job, isn't it?
That's good.
I'm not sure if I'm
crazy or not.
You okay?
So this is the stuff I'll be talking about tonight. Yep. Okay. So, okay, this is what's happened. There's an email attached to this in the back too. I've got an email from state. The $10,130 is coming from my own funds, not anything else from county. But, so, like I told commissioners today, the radio that we purchased, you know, we don't have any issues with it. We love it. It does the job, but along the way, it's been a little trial and error. As you know, we've had to add the combiner that we got this other time. Just making sure we've got all of our nooks and crannies filled. So I had my radio guy come in and install the combiner, and then he's informing me that IPSC State Police Tower has been pretty, you know, they're upset with Fayette County because we are using a lot of resources on the state tower here. So back in the day, we were all VHF, everybody had VHF, and we didn't usually use that tower, but now that we're on the 800 path, which really is where we need to be, each agency is on 800s. So this is how it turns out. There's four talk channels on the tower. Those 4 talk groups are used for everybody. That includes state police, DNR, everybody. It's not just our tower for Fayette County. It's the one over on Vine Street. So each time that we dispatch out a multiple amount of people, we're using, so if I dispatch EMS and city fire, I'm using 2 of those resources. If I dispatch out city fire, EMS, and county fire, that's 3 resources used, leaving only 1 open. So that says that if state police is trying to dispatch their units, then they're going to be left out. So IPSC's not happy with that. So they want Fayette County to get a handle on it and figure out a different talk group.
Come on, Wolf.
Jim,
I thought I had it off, sorry.
you're okay.
Go ahead, volume down.
So basically, per the email, what we have done, what this $10,130 is going to do, is give me another radio to put on the system. And that's going to allow agencies to do 1 tone, like as in, each department has their own set of tones. Those will not change. But we'll use 1 talk channel to tone on. And then after we tone those departments out, then each of those departments can then pair off into their own talk groups, which will not affect the talking on the tower resources when they branch off. So that's what this $10,130 is going to do. So it is a necessary item. Again, we've had this system for 2.5 years, something like that. And we love it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that the trial and error and we were told by IPSC when we first was doing this that we really need to pay attention to the resources that we would be using. So none of the agencies were unaware, nor was I. But at the time, we were just going to get ourselves the radio put in, get everybody organized on the 800 channels where we need to be, and go from there. And so going from there, now we've learned, obviously, that our using of all those resources on the state police tower isn't the right way to go. So we're going to have to do something different. Now, IPSC's not coming down here and yelling at us and all that jazz. They are very good people. They're just telling us that we need to find another solution for how many resources we use. And this is what we're going to need to do.
And that will take care of everything, right, Kelly?
It should. I don't want to say that because here you might jinx me and be back here next month with something. A bowling ball I might need. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what the $10,130 is. It does come out of my state fund, nothing out of the county. I've already talked with Jane and she's got my transfer under control with that, so I do have the money.
Kelly, all the information you've given is really, really good and helpful. I just make a motion to approve it.
Okay, thank you.
I second it.
Okay, we had a motion made and seconded to approve the $10,130. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay.
And then I'll briefly tell you, because I don't, okay, so the 450 sheet you've got, the $450, it's also my money. This came about, so you know, my ECS, the radio company, they come down here whenever I call them. Doesn't matter what day, what time it is, they'll come down. So when the receiver got hit by lightning and they came down because I didn't know what was wrong with the radios, that alone was like $600 for them to come down, okay, in the middle of the night on a Sunday. So $450, and that's gonna cover all 3 years. So what this is gonna have them able to do is to remote in to the system, and that's all of the system. They can remote into all of it from their place there. Also, it prevents any hacking or any spam or anything that it could attack the radio equipment. So that's what this $450 will cover. It is a 3-year program, and like I said, the $450 is for all 3 years, not per year.
So we don't have a transfer request for that, or?
No, I'm just letting you know what's going on, that I'm gonna do that. Since I was already talking radio shop tonight, I thought I'd go ahead and let you know that I had spoke with Dale Munson about it, and I feel like it's a good thing. Because it could save in the long run over the calls that they have to come to us on an off time.
Okay, any further comments? I have a motion to allow the 450, right? That might break us, Kelly.
I know, well, my big break me, it's my money. Not my money, but it's the 911's money, so you never know.
Okay, you have a motion to accept it?
Second.
Okay, then moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And this week, I'm working radio in the evening until 8 p.m. at night. So if anybody wants to stop in, I'll be on radio tonight this week. So more than welcome, Tim, or whoever wants to come in. Kay was in there the other night. So I'm in there during the day too, but just I come in a little bit later and I'll be there at the radio till 8 o'clock this week if you guys want to come in.
Give us a hopping when I was in there.
I know, well, it just happened, I think when we
No
have
144s,
visitors.
right?
No, but yeah, so more than welcome to come over. Thank you.
Okay. No 144s. Any old business to bring up? A new business, revised additional appropriation form. Jane, you want to explain that?
It's just we've added 3 questions to the additional appropriations. So before somebody said miss this and we advertise it, we want them to look at their existing budgets. So the questions, have you made any in-budget transfers? Have you requested any category transfers? And then if it is a department head, have they discussed it with the commissioners?
Okay. We don't need to vote on that. It's just something.
No, you need to vote on that.
Well, if they turn you down, what are we going to do?
No, I mean, it basically it's just, you know, they fill out that form for Jane.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is something that kind of came up during the budget committee meetings, that, you know, really a lot of this stuff needs to be run through the commissioners first before it gets to us. And a lot of times, folks are kind of circumventing that and coming in.
I understand.
And so having that on that form, along with those other 2 questions, kind of helps streamline the process a little bit. And go ahead.
It actually come up at the city or state council conference, and they told us that was best practice. A lot of other counties are already doing it, and they advised us to do it so they can't go around the process, just like Scott said.
Well, someone will make a motion to approve the form?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Move the second to approve the new form. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Your business, Jane. Any other business to bring before the council? Do I have a move for
You
adjournment?
want to ask if anybody in the audience that has anything, you don't know?
Well, how many do we have out there?
6. You never know, you should ask them though, to be courteous.
If I could see them, I would.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Okay. Now can we adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned. Thank you.
I'm sorry.